Hey guys, welcome back. So today's an exciting day for me because for two reasons actually. First reason is I get to unbox and set up my new shaper, which is a Shop Fox W1702 shaper, 3 horsepower. And then the second reason is I have what is going to be the largest machine in my shop being delivered today. And I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed, that it's going to be a game changer for my production. But before we do that, let's start unboxing this shaper and putting it together. All right, so in the box, at the very top of the box, on top of the styrofoam, was the table, the front table extension. Everything else is going to be inside this cabinet. So let's open this up and grab everything. All right, there's a lot more parts here than I had expected. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through step by step following the manual, what the manual says to do when it says to do it. So the first thing it wants us to do is install the fence facing onto the fence housing here. Before I do that though, I want to clean all of this protective grease that's been applied to here. I don't have what they recommend to clean with. All I have is mineral spirits, so that's what I'm going to use. All right, so I got everything cleaned up and I've got a coat of paste wax on here to protect it, make it a little smoother. Now I'm going to attach these fence faces here to the fence. In order to do that, we're going to take these screws off. We'll loosen them up. Okay, now these were installed with the flange flush to the back of this face plate here, but obviously we're going to turn these around to fit inside these T-slots. And not gonna tighten these on super tight. I'm just gonna get them in there. All right, so it looks like I've got 2 of these extension bars. The one in the picture looks to be this longer one. So I'm gonna take this longer extension bar and we're gonna mount it to the top of our safety guard here. All right, so now I'm gonna take the support here for the safety guard, and we'll go ahead and put that in. All right, then I'm going to take this T-handle here and attach the safety guard with the T-handle. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these parts here. These are going to be our basically our brackets for our hold downs, and we're going to just use these black Allen hex head screws here, and of course we're going to use these T's, and these T's are going to slide into the back side of this fence. Once again, make sure on these T's your flange is towards the outside, towards the back. And then you're going to have to loosen up the fence and actually raise the fence or extend the fence beyond the body of this, so that you can get these T-locks in here. All right, once those are in, I'm just going to go ahead and tighten these down, just kind of hand tight for now. All right, so what you should have now is you should have these 2 L-shaped bars, And then you're gonna have 4 of these U-shaped brackets, as well as 4 of these set screws. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and just install the set screws now. They're gonna go into the back side of these brackets here. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to access them. All right, now I'm going to slip one on the long end and then one on the short end. And for now I'm just going to hand tighten these. And they'll slip right in here. And same thing with this side. All right, now these are going to hold our hold downs. And in order to install them, I'm just going to back off the set screw a little bit there and put this hold down here in between those 2 bars. Same thing is going to go for this side here. We'll adjust those, fine tune those later. But for now, that's what we're looking at, okay? We'll go ahead and repeat this on the other side. All right, so now we're going to install the hand wheel. Now the instruction manual tells us that the hand wheel is installed in the factory, and all we have to do is put on the crank handle. But that is not true in my case. In my case, this came in separately, and we're going to have to install it to the front of the machine. On the back side, you'll see as you spin this, we do have a set screw here, or a key to hold this down. This is going to obviously align with the flat portion of our shaft here. And now we've got our handle, and we can just put the handle on the crank. Now most of the cutters that I've purchased thus far are 3/4 bore or 3/4 inch bore cutters. So I'm going to use the 3/4 inch spindle, and that's what we're going to set up today. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the drawbar, which is this item here. We're going to thread this into the bottom of the spindle, and then we're going to spin this 10 to 15 turns. Okay, now I'm just going to take this, this tapered nut off the bottom here. We're going to pass this assembly down through the shaft of the or the cartridge of the spindle. There is a notch here on this spindle. You want to make sure this notch aligns with the pin that's inside the cartridge. It's inside the holder here. All right, now that I'm sure that my spindle is seated correctly, I'm holding the top of the spindle with an open end wrench right now, with an adjustable wrench, and then I'm going to put this tapered nut back on the bottom of this with the taper head pointing up. Okay, then with a 17mm wrench, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to tighten this. And I'm not going to over tighten this. I'm just going to tighten that well enough to hold that spindle in there. And that's that. In the very first pictures in the assembly guide, the fence is already installed. And so I don't know if sometimes that's done from the factory or if they just missed it, but we'll go ahead and install the fence now. Now when I took this apart to clean it, there were a total of 5 bolts in here. There were 3 hex cap bolts in here, and then there were 2 hex head, basically chrome or stainless bolts that were in these 2 back holes here. again, I've gone through the instructions, and I have no idea what these two are for. Perhaps I'll figure that out someday. But for now, this fence takes 3 bolts, and I'm assuming that because the only one I have 3 of are these hex cap head, I'm going to use those. Here are the other 2 bolts that I took out of the top of this thing. Like I said, I don't know where they go, so I'm going to hold on to them until I can figure out what they are for. Surely they can't be there for no reason. Now, to align this thing, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this fence up all the way as far as I can. And I'm going to align, if it'll let me do it that far, I'm going to align these face plates to my miter slot. Okay, and now I can use these face frames as a guide to make sure that I'm square with my miter slot here. And that seems about right there. So I'll just go ahead and tighten these down now. Now I should be able to move my fence back. Lock both those down. Okay, so I do have to engage in a little bit of guesswork here because looking at the manual, I've gone through it several times and I just can't find a wiring or a diagram on how to install the kill switch and the start switch. So I'm just going to have to guess, and I think we're going to have to start with removing this cover. I did not see this in the instructions either. It's only here on this little tag here that they're instructing us to remove the red brackets that are holding the motor in place here. It says here, a red brace is installed on the motor for shipping purposes. Remove this brace before operation. For assistance, read the motor brace removal instructions. I'm pretty sure I didn't see that in here, but let's see. No, I don't see it. So it wants us to remove these red braces here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I've got both of those brackets off and these nuts retightened. Just make sure that everything's nice and snugged up here. Now, judging from the pictures, it looks like I've got to pass these things, these switches through this side here. Again, there's no instructions on how to put, or at least I couldn't find them, on how to put this on. So I'm just winging it here based on the photographs that they sent. This seems like it should fit. And I believe this cover is going to go here. Those look like those are going to fit. So let's just go ahead and put this back on. All right, so there's this little black bracket here, which doesn't seem to want to reach all the way. Yeah, this wire is just a tad short. And by tad, I mean like half an inch. Put those in. Let's go ahead and remove this other matching screw. We removed the bottom one before when we took off this safety tag. Now we'll go ahead and install this shut off. All right, there's our lockout. Go ahead and remove these two screws, which seems where this master switch is going to mount. All right, now the manual did not say anything about putting this table extension on the front, and so there was no step in the instructions telling us when to do that. So I guess we'll just do it now. I've already cleaned it. That is the extension table. I've already cleaned it, and I've already waxed it as well. So it's just a matter. Okay, so once again, I have referred back to this manual a few times. I am missing, or I've got some extra parts here. I've got this shaft. I've got this bracket here. I've got this yellow thing and two thumb screws, as well as this bracket here. Now, if we're looking at the instructions and you look at the parts list, one thing you'll see here is this item here, 23. Don't know if you can see that. 23. Let me see. Can you see that? Fine. There we go. So 23 here and 24. They're both using this T-handle lock bolt here. Okay, but there was only one T-handle lock bolt in this kit, all right? And it was attached to this bracket. I took it off this bracket and I put it here. The directions don't have any of that in there. They don't tell you what this is. I mean, they tell you what it is. They tell you 23 guard holding bracket, 28 shaft holder. Okay, that's this one. And then 27 or 14 is your shaft. Well, I figured out that I now know where those two bolts, that would be these two bolts that came from the back of the machine where I installed the fence. These two bolts, I believe, hold this bracket down back here with this bar, and then this bar goes with this piece here in case you're going to bypass this housing. I think that's the whole sole purpose of these parts here. So you would have basically to hold that guard, you would have the shaft, and I'm assuming, I guess this is if you're not using the fence. You'd have this shaft, you would have this holder here, and then you would have this shroud mount to this. None of that is in the instructions that I could find, but that makes the most sense. So I'm just going to keep all these together. I have a toolbox solely dedicated for shaping and routing. I also have these. I've yet to figure out what these are for, but I'm sure I will. There are 3 pins with these kind of tapered end. I'll keep reading, see if I can find out what those are for. And then this yellow guard here, which I'm assuming goes here and matches with these thumb screws. I have no idea what it's for. I don't know if it's a dust guard. I don't know if it's something that you keep on here, like for dust collection, or you keep on here so kids don't put their hands in there. I don't know. I don't know because shapers are new to me and it's not in the instructions. So if you know what the purpose of this is, I don't know if it's just from keeping things from flying out, or better dust collection, or just safety. I don't know. If you know, let me know. If you find it in the instructions somewhere, let me know, because I couldn't find it anywhere. But all these parts are just going to go into my toolbox for future use if I need them. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my back panel back on. All right, so I've got everything together. I am 98% sure that this is all put together the way it should be. All I've got left to do now is I've got it plugged in. Let's see if it powers on. I've got the lockout switch set to forward. It does have a forward and reverse. I've got it set to forward, and let's try and power this on. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video. In the next video, or in an upcoming video, what I'm going to be doing is, there's been this company called Infinity Tools, and they've been on my feed on social media everywhere, basically, and they just keep coming up and keep coming up and keep coming up. Well, I have ordered a set, a 5-piece set, whatever, of a shaker style cabinet door. So it'll come with the tooling to do the stiles and the rails, as well as a raised shaker panel. That's going to be my first project on this shaper, at least for YouTube, and then we'll go from there. So keep your eyes out for that one. For today, I'm done. Like I said, I'm awaiting a big delivery today, which hopefully you'll see that video coming out pretty soon as well. But for now, I'm going to just set this shaper aside for today, and we'll come back to it at another time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. If you've got answers on any of these things that I had questions on, please leave them in the comments. I'd love your assistance figuring out what some of this stuff is. Anyways, we'll see you next time.